All right, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 2 critical things every realtor needs to be tracking daily in their business, as well as the math, the calculations on how to do this for your specific income goals. Hi, my name is Darren Langille. I'm the Re-Education brand creator, and simply put, I build better realtors. Now on this channel, I put a new educational video out each and every week, so please like, subscribe so that you don't miss the next one that's coming. All right, so let's get to it. As the thumbnail said, know your damn numbers. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. Now, it is not just a number, it's actually multiple numbers for your business. Now, as I started, I said there are 2 critical things every top agent should be tracking in their business each and every day. And what that is the number of new real estate conversations that you have every single day. The second one is number of new appointments that you set each and every day or week. Now, a quick premise, a conversation isn't an attempt. It's a two-way dialogue. This could be on DMs, phone calls, in person, front door, open houses, online leads, whatever that might be. It has to be a two-way dialogue driving and working to a real estate conversation. Now, that's all said and good. What to track is important. But what I want to do now is set the goals so as you're tracking this day to day, you know what it is you're trying to achieve. Step number 1 is simply doing the math, everybody's favorite thing. So what we're going to do now is calculate this together. Now, there is an industry standard amongst real estate coaches out there. You may have heard this. It is the 40-to-1 ratio. Now, what this means is for every final commission check, final sale that you earn throughout the year, you're going to have put in 40 new real estate conversations to get to that number. Now, that might seem high, that might seem low for you. Until you know your ratio, let's work with the standard one, because the best coaches in the industry use this, so we should too. All right, so the equation is quite simple. You will take the total number of deals per year that you've set out to do. You're going to times this by 40 to give you the total number of real estate conversations that you're going to need to have to hit that income goal for the year. New real estate conversations. Now, one more caveat with this. This doesn't count if it's a follow-up or it's a current client conversation you had new for the week. This is new people that's entering your funnel to count as a new real estate conversation. Now, the goal now is to take that total annual number and get it way more tangible. With tangibility, we have intention and we can likely get it achieved. So what we got to do is take the total number and divide it by the number of months in the year, right? That's 12. But no, I'm not going to let you do that. What we're going to do is I'm going to cross off the 12 and give it 11. And the reason I'm doing that is because you're not fully working in prospecting 12 months of the year. When you look at your vacations or just the days that you really maybe sloughed it off, we're going to say that you're only working a true 11 months of the year. Fair enough? Now, then we're also would take that number, the total divided by the 11, and then we'll also divide it by the number of weeks in a month. So divided by 4, and then we'll also divide it by a number of days. The number of days that you are putting in proactive prospecting efforts in your business. Now, if this seems like a lot, I'm going to walk you through the math now. All right, so what we're going to do now is build out the example and run you through the math. Now, you may need to pause this a few times or come back as you go through this, but let's listen through, take note as we go. Let's start with somebody with an annual deal goal of, say, 15 homes sold per year. All right, so what we do is go 15 times those 40, that ratio, that gives us 600 total real estate conversations new that you're going to have in the upcoming year to hit that goal. Now, we're again going to divide that by 11, so let's do this on my calculator. I don't know this one off by heart. 54 new real estate conversations per month, right? Per month that you're going to have to figure out how to do. Now, we're also going to now divide that by 4 because there's 4 weeks on an average month. And that gets us down to about 14 new real estate conversations per week now. Now, we'll go one step further and again, divide it by, we're going to say this person is a 5-day-a-week prospector. Now, this may be different than yours. We'll divide by 5, and you end up with 2.7. So let me just round it up because we want to always put in a little bit more effort. 3 new conversations per day is the 15 deal a year producing agent's goal. Does that make sense? Now do again this for your own numbers after, or even pause the video now. Now, like I said right at the beginning, number one of the things to track per day is the number of new real estate conversations. Now we've done the math and we figured out that this agent is a 3 new conversation agent per day to hit their goals of 15 deals per year. Now I wanted to give you another little piece, maybe tidbit of information to give you some motivation so that you don't let these new conversation attempts go the wayside. And what this is what you're going to do is take your total income goal for the year. And you're going to divide this now by the total number of new real estate conversations that we just calculated. And you're going to end up with a dollar amount per real estate conversation. And that's going to be your motivation. In this case, we're going to say it's $120,000 a year income goal. And we're going to divide this by those 600 conversations. This means that there's $200 on the line for every either made or missed real estate conversation. Now, if you're banking this up throughout the day and you hit them, you're banking $600 towards that future income goal. If you didn't make your calls, didn't make your attempts, didn't have your real estate conversations, you're basically burning that $600 if you don't make it up in future. So hopefully this motivates you. All right, so now step 2. We talked about determining the number of new appointments that you need to set. Now, I said the word set because it's not go on, right? We're talking about proactive leading indicators. We can't control if the appointment actually happens, but we can control our efforts to set them. So this is determining the number of new appointments that you set on a given day and most likely on a given week because they don't happen as often as the real estate conversations do. All right, one thing to note, we need, and maybe you're not going to like this, we need more appointments set than the deals that we're hoping to complete. Maybe it's obvious, maybe it's not. But if that deal goal to this set agent was 15, there is no way in heck that they will only set 15 appointments and they'll have this 100% perfect closing ratio. The math I'm going to walk you through builds in a factor of safety based on some things that generally happen through life as a real estate. So let's go ahead and talk about that now. Now, if you have an annual income goal, but you haven't yet figured out how many transactions that's going to make, this is the quick math to get there. You'll take your annual income goal and you'll divide it by the average take-home commission check from your average sale price. That will give you the number of deals you're going to have to close in the year. Make sense? So if you haven't done it, do this now before we move on. All right, so the quick example that we've been working off of is this goal agent of $120,000 per year. The average commission check of this agent is going to be $8,000. That's the math that I'm using here today, and that gets us back to that 15 deal a year agent that we've been talking about in step 1. Now, to determine the number of appointments to set, we're going to have to do a few things, and we're going to have to make some assumptions, right? Every market, every agent listening to this is at a different place, and these assumptions may vary a little bit, but the ones that I'm going to walk us through, I think, are very fair to use, and you can certainly use them in your business. So we're going to come up with some ratios needed, and that's what I'll talk about next. All right, the first ratio, number 1, is the number of appointments set that you actually go on, right? So here's the first assumption. You make your outbound calls. You have a two-way conversation, and you book the appointment. What percentages of the appointments actually materialize, meaning you actually go on them? I'm going to give you a number to say about 85% of the appointments that you set, you actually end up going on. We know some people blow us off, they ghost us, we never get them back. So let's just say there's a fall off rate of about 15%, okay? The next assumption that I want to talk about is the number of appointments you turn into actual clients, right? How many people ultimately pick you, right, for all that you go on and they say, yes, Darren, you're the one for me, or you find out, no, you're not. So I'm going to say you are an average middle-of-the-road agent, and you get about a 50% success rate, both from the combination of your buyer appointments and then, of course, the listing ones you go on. Now, if your number is different, put a different number in this math. All right, number 3, the third assumption we want to figure out is the number of clients that you get that ultimately turn into those final close deals, right? We know not every exclusive listing contract you get ultimately sells, right? It may not, it expires, it terminates. They might change their mind. right? We also know the market's dependent. Some are super hot and some are a little slower. We also know that for every exclusive buyer arrangement that you're on, that not all the time do they ultimately end up in a check because, again, they changed their mind. They couldn't get financed and there's a fall off rate. Now, I'm going to say this is a pretty good chance they're going to do it, but let's go with 75% of all the contracts we get into with our clients end up resulting in a paycheck. Now, you can, again, adjust this based on your own market, your own experience, and maybe your own numbers. So now we have all the assumptions that we've built together to come up with a final math to find out how many appointments do I need to set this year to hit that income goal. All right, so here it is, number of deals, 15, right? This is our 15 deal agent. This is where the math may look complicated, but you're only going to go through this once. So you're going to take your number 15, right? Deals per year. You're going to times it by 100 and then divide it by 75. That's that ratio of clients in contract to ultimate checks. All right, so when you do that, you end up with a number of 20. Okay, 20 now appointments set versus just the 15 perfect ratio. Okay, but now we got to go further, right? This was for the closed clients. This is for now, the next ratio is that 50% fall off where they picked you or they didn't pick you. So you take the 20, you'll times it by 100, divide it by 50. Basically doubles things, right? So now it's buffered up a little bit to say now I've got 40 appointments that I need to set rather than that 15 final closed deals. And we'll go one step further because we got to talk about that fallout rate that happens when we set appointments and they ghost us. So you go 400 now times by 100 divided by 85. It works out to this final math of 47. This is the total number of new appointments that you're going to need to set to hit that 15 deal a year income goal with these kind of laid out assumptions so that you can track and measure and understand what you're trying to achieve. All right, so what you'll do now is those 47 appointments, just like we did before with our conversations, is you're going to divide it by the 11. You're going to now have a number of 4.2. 4.2 new appointments. This is a per month, okay? Now we'll also divide by those 4 weeks. We end up with the 1. Now 4.2 divided by 4 is just 1 new appointment per week. This is the goal when you're tracking and you're reviewing those numbers in your daily habits to say by the end of the week, did I achieve that 1 new appointment set? So the goal with this is to do this once per year. The math may seem a bit scary, but when you go through this video a couple times, you realize it's not. It's very simple calculator, or maybe even in your head if your numbers are smaller. Do this once per year. Learn your personal numbers. Know your damn numbers. And then track it to improve, right? Track it, measure it daily to improve on it, to have visibility for it. Now, if this seems a little bit overwhelming, and you're trying to figure out how you can deploy this in your business and you maybe need some help, please feel free to reach out. I have a ton of resources within the Reeducation brand that can help you get there. And again, personally, one-on-one, I do offer services that can help you and coach you to get through things. So again, I hope this video, this little how-to, was super helpful for you to determine your daily numbers and then how to calculate them for your specific income goals. All right, that's it. I will see you again next week.